Wait, let me look that up on the internet real quick.
tagcastpodcast.com.
And now it's time for the Tagcast Podcast with Terry and Gatch. My name's Terry Geil.
I don't like your jerk-off name. I don't like your jerk-off face. I don't like your jerk-off behavior. And I don't like you, jerk-off.
See, because I paid a lake for weed like in the 70s and I never got the real one back.
You just got tagged.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. May God have mercy on your soul.
And his name is Dustin Gatchell.
I heard in Hawaii, your spam email is your good email.
The Tagcast Podcast starts right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tagcast Podcast. This is Gatch, and on behalf of myself and Terry, we will join this podcast in progress, because we had an annoying fan going on for about the first minute. So, here we go.
We've upgraded our sound system, as we wished for last week, and shouted out to Jeff Simpson.
Jeff Simpson.
He
In
appeared.
on the sound.
And so he's not here right now because he had to go close up his store. Maybe we get them to sponsor us, or maybe just because Jeff helped us out like he did. We'll say today's episode is brought to you by the Cash House in Albany.
Yeah.
Cash House.
Yeah.
He
Go
manages
down
that
there.
place. Yep. He'll give you a good deal, or whatever kind of deal he can give you.
Is that a place that's still the pink place, right?
I don't think it's pink.
Oh, it's not pink?
Well, no, but it's a house, and it's on. Way to be with it. I don't know the
Pacific.
address. Yeah, it's over kind of by McDonald's on the other side.
Yeah,
of town.
right after you get over our international listeners aren't, we got plenty of international listeners.
I'm sure we
do.
do, but
I
I was
think
just
we're
wondering,
all
they probably have a
covered.
website. Maybe not. We'll ask Jeff when he comes back, because he's going to come
Yeah.
back and chat with us for a while. On today's episode, by the way, it's Wednesday. Happy Hump Day to all you humpers. We were trying to think of something to call our listeners, because I was actually surprised and amazed that we had, like, what'd you say, 70-some downloads?
Yeah, it was 74 last time I looked.
And that was in a week. Well,
Yeah.
actually less than a week.
Less
Because
than a week.
we didn't get the episode up. This Wednesday's episode wasn't up till Thursday. So
Yeah, I think we put it on Friday, and then Saturday I don't think it was accessible at all.
No, I talked to several people who said, dude, I tried to listen and I couldn't. Actually, that was a bummer. And I said, well, try again. That'll be something to tide you over until today's episode, and then it's
Yeah.
today.
Oh,
Wednesday.
was this recently?
Yes, it was actually yesterday. I was talking to Mr. Jake Quinnett, and he said that, how did it go? And I said, good. Did you listen to it? He goes, I tried, and I go, what day? And he told me, I think it was Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, our
Yeah.
server was down, iTunes was messed up, and
No, it was me. I had
I was trying to
actually.
cover for you.
Oh, okay.
Dustin
yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah.
Everybody say it. Dustin fucked
Fucked up.
Okay, but hey,
Yeah.
at least he admitted it, and
Yeah.
he owned it, and he dealt with it, and he fixed it.
Hey, can you believe it's been 2 years since Dio has passed away?
I can't. I was listening to the new Tenacious D, who are big promoters and supporters
Mm-hmm.
of Dio, and I just can't. It's been 2 years. I was talking to Hans Joachimson, and he's like, he didn't even know that Dio died for like 3 months or something. And I accidentally mentioned it at practice, and I was like, yeah, I can't believe it because Dio's dead. And he's like, what? I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
yeah, and it was kind of like your mom died
Yeah.
3 months ago. Nobody told you, and he was just like, really?
Wow.
And he kind of went all, oh, he went, hey, that's not.
Yeah. It's
So
been,
yeah, 2 years. That's a long time.
It's been almost 6 since 666, and I remember buying my Slayer shirt that day, the 666 one. It's been 6 years almost.
Wow, I just wore that the other day. I've probably only worn it 6 times, but
Yeah.
maybe more. But I thought about trying to make some money off of it. It's not worth more than about $45 on eBay right now. Maybe in
Oh,
20
really?
years.
Huh.
But what were you saying? Somebody died.
Dio.
Yeah, Dio. That's right. That was 2 years ago. That's why I forgot. I'm already losing my train of thought here.
And let's see, we've had some other deaths too, right? There's going to be no more summer.
Dude, there was a bunch of them. Like, I guess they're having a disco party in heaven.
There must be.
Or hell. Wherever
Yeah.
there's disco. Robin Gibb from the Bee Gees
Yeah.
and Donna Summer. And I think both of those were on the fucking Saturday Night Fever soundtrack in the 70s, which maybe that means John Travolta.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That picture came out of it. Did you hear about that?
I heard that people are talking about him being gay.
There was a picture of him kissing another man.
Yeah.
That came out.
It wasn't his son? Because that's not gay. I mean, unless you're tongue kissing.
Yeah, yeah, if your tongues are locked.
Maybe the Scientologist's okay. I don't know. He's a Scientologist, right?
Yeah.
That's weird. Also,
we shouldn't probably talk about Scientology. We'll both end up dead.
No, that's kind of like Chuck Barris. We were talking about him, who I found out he's alive, by the way. Anybody who listens to the last show, he's 83. And, dude, he used to work on American Bandstand behind the scenes. He wrote the song Palisades Park.
Really?
He invented the newlywed game and the dating game and the Gong Show. And I found out that the CIA claimed that he never worked for them and that his movie was just like fiction. He said he assassinated 33 people. 33? For the CIA,
wow.
Yes. Yeah, so apparently there's a...
He should have made a game show about that.
He tried, I guess. It's called The CIA Show or whatever, but... No, and I didn't know that they revived the Gong Show in 2008 on Comedy Central with Dave Attell. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
And then I thought about it. 2008, I was living in Lacombe. We had no cable,
so
I
don't
wasn't
think I
watching
was watching
television.
cable either.
And I go little spurts without watching cable, and when I watch cable, but then I don't.
When I first watched CSI, speaking of CIA, which has nothing to do with it, but when I first watched CSI, I thought it stood for Cigar Store Indian. I was stoked to watch that, but it turns out it's something completely different.
Is that the one that Ice-T is on?
Yeah, I think so. It's such a dramatic change, him going from that serious role to that Tea and Cocoa show or whatever it is, Ice and Cocoa.
I really wish I didn't know what that show is, but I do, because my wife, bless her heart, she likes to watch shows like that. And oh, by the way, before we get any further, I want to know right now. No, not Meatloaf, but there was a subject we touched on at the beginning of the last show. I don't know if you recall or if you listened to the show. I listened to it to make an outline, plus I'm narcissistic and like to listen to my own voice. But I mentioned a thing about my Facebook, sharing a page with my wife, and then I did the wah, wah, wah. I just wanted to clear something up because I had some people come up to me at the green room this last weekend at the show down there and they said to her, "You should let him get his own Facebook page."
Oh, no.
Yeah, and she called it, and I said, no one's going to do that. She called it beforehand. People are going to think that I'm controlling you, and it's not the fact. I want to clear it up for everybody that's listening, and even for you, Dustin. When Facebook came out, I was a MySpace.
Yeah.
I was a MySpace guy. I was anti-Facebook. I didn't want to do it. So my wife had a Facebook because she used to have a lot of friends, and then all of a sudden, all my friends from high school and all my old band friends.
I remember when that went down.
And so she's like, "Why don't you just join my page and we'll be a Facebook page together?" And I said, "That's awesome." And so, I have...
Well, even before that, you resisted. I mean, you weren't really... For like a month, I remember, she changed it, but you weren't really active on it.
No, and then people...
Until, like, the I-5 coalition thing. I remember that, and I was like, hey, man, the bands are starting to get some... It's becoming more band-friendly.
That's what it did for me. When Reverb Nation kind of linked up and you could have actual music player.
Because with MySpace, you had, like, 10 pages for your 10 bands.
And now you have actually increased my page velocity by doing some pages for Victims and Bleach and some defunct bands and the
I like
Jars.
to do that, and then I make you administrator, and then I leave.
Yeah, well, I actually did that for myself because I talked to some people about it, and I tried to tell them, my wife is not telling me you can't have a Facebook page. I didn't really want one. And the only reason I would want one, like I said, was for promotional purposes because they said, sometimes promoters and other comics might get confused when it's Terry and Geil. But I don't really care. So I made an extra page, kind of like our Sons of Confusion and Grief Hammer pages.
One that you can like.
Yeah. But as I've used it the last day or two, you can't send personal messages. You can't comment on sites. I can't go to the Portland Comic Board because I'm not a member. I have to go as Terry and Gatch, and that's fine with me because I figure it this way. I'm a local amateur comedian, if that, in my eyes, and if I ever get any farther in my comic career, I'll have a fucking website that says www.terrygeil.net. I'm not going to have a Facebook page.
Yeah, or you'll have your one that you can like, because, I mean,
I have it now, and I even surpassed the Tagcast podcast in likes.
Nice. Nice. Well, that's
people
not...
must like. I know that sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
Well,
apologize
people
for
need to
that.
go and like us on Facebook.
Right, because once, I don't know if anybody saw this, but I don't know why it is, and I don't know if it actually means we have more control, but once you get 30 likes, you can see your insights, which tells you if people are talking about you, which, you know,
Yeah.
it's not so much narcissism, it's only a little bit of narcissism. The
Yeah.
rest is just curiosity and want to know if we're doing this for nothing or just doing it because, you know,
Yeah.
we have
people in
friends.
Switzerland are listening.
And what I've noticed is I have a few friends, and my childhood friend from Brownsville that grew up across the street from me, he lives in California, and I see him maybe once every 5 to 10 years, which sucks because it's one of those best friends that's still your best friend, even though you never see him.
Yep.
So I've been listening to him on his podcast, and it's kind of like I get to catch up with my old buddy,
Yeah.
and then he can go ahead and mustard. Wait, no, ketchup. Sorry. No, and
Let's
so
not relish on that.
So yeah, and I think my friend Nick Woos, he listened and he posted, I can't believe I listened to the whole thing. Good shit. But see, he's one of my old friends who lives in Portland. I don't get to see him enough, and I think people can listen to this and say, hey, I know what Terry and Dustin are doing. And you've got friends that I don't know that live out of state and family and whatnot, and I just hope nobody gets offended by anything. Well, actually,
Oh, fuck it.
nice. I did send some requests to some people who I, after the fact, thought, oh, we're kind of explicit. They're
Yeah,
kind of
but they
kids,
know us,
but
though.
Exactly.
They know,
We're
you know,
awesome.
we're good people.
So anyway, yeah, we had a good show at the Green Room on Saturday. That was Chris Castles and Seth Milstein, who will be our guest on Friday. We also had
Nice.
Will Woodruff and Andy Bradwin also did a guest set on myself, and we had Carmine McGee open the show. And Chris Castles actually paid me money, which is awesome.
Wow.
So kudos for him, because not saying that no one else pays, but a lot of times you don't even get gas money. So got some gas money, and I went
It's
over.
always a plus.
And we've been kind of, you know, skimming along like everybody else in today's economy, so we figured we'd splurge and go over to Voodoo Donuts. And 'cause I love those, so I had to get a bacon maple bar. And
Nice.
go in there, thinking to spend $5, maybe buy one donut a piece. And I asked for an ODB. Uh-oh, shit.
So I got a question about the
My phone's
the
ringing,
voodoo,
but I can't take it right now.
the voodoo donut. Was do they have bacon strips on the maple bacon?
Yes, they do. They have bacon strips. It's
Not
just
the dog food, not the dog snack.
not bacon.
strips.
No, they have 2 strips of bacon, and it's probably placed into the maple, like, before it's dried, you know, because it's like in there, and it's not covered it, but yeah, it's good though. And so we went in there. Sorry, I got distracted on my phone started ringing, and it was actually Friday's guest, but I'll get back to him in a minute here. Anyway, we went to the Voodoo Donuts, planned to spend $5 because they're kind of spendy, and my buddy that used to play in a metal band, we used to play shows back in the day, like Samurai Duck back in the day, in Eugene, and so he always kind of treats me extra nice, so I said I want an ODB, and which is like Oreos and peanut butter.
Old
and
dirty bastard.
Yeah, it's named after the old dirty bastard, and it looks like an old dirty, crusty, dirty thing, but it's just delicious. So I ordered one each for myself, and then my wife got 2 donuts, and then he just put like 4 other donuts in there, and then she goes, oh, could I get a Dr. Pepper? And then he was going to put more donuts in. He's like, oh, Dr. Pepper, and then he puts stuff away and gets a Dr. Pepper. And so I thought, oh, he's loading us up. I wasn't going to say, hey, I didn't ask for all those donuts, but
Yeah.
then I'm like, all right, how much
You
do
get
I
on
owe you?
the sugar rush, right?
How much do I owe you? And he's like, on me.
Nice.
So he gave us like 8 or 10 Voodoo Donuts and a soda for free. Won't mention any names, so I don't want to get him fired, but
Reason I asked if they were strips was because I went to a local supermarket here in town, and they had one of those, and it was bacon pieces on there, and it just wasn't memorable. And I was like, why wouldn't they put the strips on there?
it was just little pieces, or
Yeah, it was just like little pieces.
Bacon bits?
Like, yeah, it was bacon bits.
no, these are like real pieces of bacon that are cooked good. They're not overcooked and over crumbly. They're still
Yeah.
It's not hot bacon by any means, but it's good though. I definitely recommend the Voodoo Donuts. We did have a weird incident. I've shared this in my stand-up act 1 or 2 times, but it's kind of weird. But I'd like to share it here. My wife went to Voodoo Donuts in Portland, which is way
Yes.
way smaller, and